Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Super Justice League of Bat Friends, episode 172. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my co-host, the world champion, Joe. What's up, Joe?
Living the dream. Fantastically.
So, every day you're struggling?
Did I send you that?
I've seen it so many times.
It keeps popping up, and then there's another one. Are men okay? No. Every day I'm struggling. Boop, 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 boop. I saw a new one, actually. I saw a new cut of with that. It's Are Men Okay? She's cute, by the way. Call me. And it was the guy's like, not at all. But I think most men could be most typically shown by this bathroom door. And he turns around and he's like, it works. And he opens it and it's like just barely not hitting the toilet seat. The toilet. And he's like, but we're just that close, just snapping and losing it.
I like the other one where it's the woman saying, basically, where are the men with no hose? And it's people finally realizing that it's the nerdy guys, because it's always like a guy painting Warhammer.
Or playing with Legos.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing I love about those specifically, is that it's also showing that where it's like, they're healthy men that have things that interest them and are happy.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't want that. Because those are men that know how to set boundaries and ask you to respect yourself as a person and engage in a mutually beneficial relationship, not just,
where every so often it's leave me the fuck alone.
I think the one that made me laugh the hardest was like the guy that had like an A-wing or whatever. He's like, he's just doing the noises. I love those so much.
I like that one because there's a lot of reality for that in me.
Yeah. When I thought of this the other day, and I might have even thought about, like, I should bring that up on the podcast, but I forgot about it until just now. When I was, like, 20, maybe late teens, I can remember there was a picture of a dude who was very was very overweight, and had, like, a mustache and, like, thick, big old glasses, and maybe had a mullet. I'm not sure. But he was at his desk, and he had all these Gundam around him, and they were, like, nice models, not, knockoffs or anything. And this was, early 2000s. Gundam were even more expensive then because they were pure imports. And I can't remember if it was a meme. It was the old Reddit memes. You remember the old Reddit memes where it's like a picture and then there's the Reddit outlay of text underneath. But it was kind of someone be like, oh, what a loser. And the guy's like, no, like, look at this guy. This guy clearly makes a lot of money because those are all very expensive. And he just found a passion that he's happy with. Because, like, the guy looks happy in the picture, too. He's like, look at all this cool shit I have. And he's like, we have to change this mentality where it's like, no, this guy's cool. Like, this guy knows what he likes and is happy with it. And I think about that every once in a while. Because I've had maybe 2 women in my life who just openly shit. Actually, there was a dude, too, but less of him, better. Who openly shit on, like, my shit that I like. Mm-hmm. And a lot of other people are just like, no, like, even if they're not into it, they're like, it's really cool, though. Like, you have all this cool stuff. Like, I do have all this cool stuff. I forget about it sometimes. Then I look around, I'm like, I have this cool. I have a Dr. Cox pop. Why? Because it's fucking awesome. I have a Hans from fucking Die Hard pop. Why? Because fucking Alan Rickman's the man. I have Conan splattered in blood. I have Jim Henson holding Kermit.
I actually been dealing with this recently, so I know you're not, I don't think you're much of a, like, bag and board and sort your comics kind of guy.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
There was a time.
So I've always been that type of guy. And I've been going through my comics recently, to the 0 people out there following me listening to this on Twitter. You've probably seen me post a little bit about it, like finding some issues that I really love and everything as I'm doing it. And there's these whole boxes from a time period where I was with my ex. Mm-hmm. They're not organized, Joe, and they're not bagged and boarded. And I thought back and I was like, yeah, it's because she made me feel bad about doing that.
Yeah, and that's shitty.
Yeah.
And just to clarify for our 5 female listeners, this is not a man versus woman thing. Like, if you love painting your nails, I don't know. I have a friend's card who she does nails. If you love painting your nails and getting like manicures and shit, and a dude or a woman, I don't know, fuck who you want to fuck, shames you about that, fuck them too. Like, as long as you're paying your bills, like if you're spending the mortgage money on your nails, or if we're spending the mortgage money on fucking turtles and comics, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But don't be shitty to each other, and don't be shitty to me, because enough people are shitty to me.
And Joe, the PS to that story is, I realize now that I have all these boxes that I now have to bag and board.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take me a long time to go through and organize. And Joe, I'm still suffering from that relationship.
Oh yeah, fuck her. She's a cunt. She's a cunt. Hope she dies in a fire.
Real quick, this is going to be a shit on my ex segment real quick.
All right.
I probably told you the story, but I'm going to tell you again. So, I, as you know, I went on this journey last year of losing weight and then trying to get in shape and all this other shit.
Sure.
Whatever. You do you. I'm doing me. So
I'm trying to eat myself to death.
Apparently that got out to her, and she started posting that she was losing weight and everything. To me, whatever. Like, I hope you're happy and do
Live
whatever
your
you
life.
want to do. Yeah.
Live your life.
You're no longer a part of mine. I just don't care.
Right.
And I was telling this to my father. I was like, oh yeah, like it, because it did bug me a little bit that like she was going out of her way to kind of undercut me. And I was just venting to my father about it, and my dad just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, I never told you because I didn't, you're over it and whatever." So, but I ran into her like a few months prior to this conversation, and, I was
and we fucked. That was a really weird turn. It was like you and I know you just kind of stop from it and be like, I'm not sure how to feel about that.
Like, Dad, I know you could do better. No, and he looks at me and he goes, and as I'm telling this, and he says, and I can tell you, without hesitation, that ain't true, and if anything, she's bigger. No judgment here, Joe. But to which I'm just like, so what? So, this is people living on social media.
This is true. This is true.
And not in the real world.
However,
who is she fooling?
I want to tell you a story from the real world because it makes me laugh that like relationships never really evolve past stupid teenagers.
Yes.
So when I was 17 or 18, I had a friend who dated a girl like in our class, like we knew. Thank you for making noise.
Yes, I hope y'all enjoyed that because that's not gonna do that.
And like he was never. It was always a weird relationship. He was never really invested, and it didn't last long.
Yeah, as teenagers tend to do.
Yeah, right. And so they broke up. And then he and I went to the mall back when I actually would go there because I had someone to go with. Like I avoid the mall at all costs now. And we saw her.
Did you get an Orange Julius?
No, this was before I knew the joys of Orange Julius, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I miss Orange
You're
Julius.
You're a better man for that discovery.
It's true. But we saw her. We happened to see her, like, out. Like, you're walking around, you see somebody. Like, oh, and with her new beau. And then it became very clear that she, like, was, trying to come around us to show off that she had moved on.
That's my favorite.
And he just looks at me and he goes, "She doesn't get it. I don't care." And it's just things never really, like... I guess the moral of the story is everyone's a fucking idiot. Just fuck. Like, fuck it. There's all this pretense and bullshit and, well, if he's not at least 6 foot, because I like to wear heels, well, you're a shallow bitch, so I hope that you marry a millionaire that shits on your head. I don't fucking know.
Let me just assure you, Joe.
Yeah.
That the whole 6... Because I was told that if you put that in your bio... you get more attention because women like taller men, and I'm 6'1". It doesn't work, Joe. Of course, it could just be that I'm ugly, but...
I mean, probably. Did you know, apparently, there's a whole thing that, like, Instagram models, quote-unquote, get paid lots of money to go to Dubai by, rich Middle Eastern men, who then horribly abuse them?
Listen, I feel bad that they get horribly abused, but, like, there is a part of me that's just like, you're getting paid to go to Dubai for these men. Like, what did you expect?
Sure. I just think it's crazy that, like, I had to find that out in a Peter Griffin Explain the Joke subreddit and never have heard that anywhere else. But it makes perfect because it's like, it was the thing where it's like, never ask a man his how much money he makes, never ask a woman her weight, and never ask an Instagram model what she did in Dubai. And then people are like, what? And then that's when they're like, well, here's the thing.
Yeah, to the ladies out there, like, someone in Dubai offering you a bunch of money, probably bad choice. But maybe it's a good choice because you get abused and then you're rich afterwards. I don't know. You live your life.
Yeah, weigh that out. Weigh that out.
Well, I've never heard of this before, Joe. It doesn't surprise me.
Right? Well, yeah, and that's the awful part of it where I'm like, okay, like you explain that to me and I don't go, here's the response I don't have. That's never happened. I'm not saying it's happening every day, but it's certainly happening. It also goes, here, we'll throw this bomb out there, and I know you're just going to let it go, and then we're going to go to the episode, because I'm literally just lobbing a grenade out there.
Pound me too?
Yeah, kind of. So, with all the news about Vince McMahon and Jeffrey Epstein and all that, I've just come to the conclusions that billionaires are unethical and shouldn't exist, because no one man should have that much power to shit on people's head and get away with it, or have an island where people are systematically abused. Just a thought.
I've come to a place in life, Joe, where not that I believe all of these conspiracy theories right off the bat, but when I hear one, like, let's go back 8 years, and let's say that somebody had told you about Epstein. You would think that was insane. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't have.
Maybe not you, but like most people out there would be like, that's insane.
Hey, fun fact. Allegedly, David Copperfield had a rape island. Go on.
Yes. So, and you would be called a conspiracy theorist and all these things. And I'm at the point now where, like, even if I don't believe them, I just look at people and be like, do you live in the same world as me? Because while I don't necessarily, on blind faith, believe everything that is said to be conspiracy theory, other than JFK coming back to life, that's real.
Zombie JFK?
There is a part of me that's just like, yeah, it's plausible. I mean, I could see it happening.
Hey, remember when aliens were all the rage? I saw...
The joke there is, what did Hunter Biden do?
No, I saw a breakdown of that was, like, whether it's true or not, it could be, and it really fucking terrified me. So, let's go into it. Let's get us fucking targeted by the government. It'll be interesting, at least.
We already got a vaccine warning on one of our episodes, so...
I forgot about that! It was you that did it, too!
No, it was you!
No!
Actually, I led you into it, but you're the one that said the line that got the timestamp.
So, are you familiar with MK Ultra? Not the conspiracy, but like the actual, there was a government agency.
The actual thing,
yeah. And you're familiar with the whole, like, CIA people dosing people with LSD without telling them, all that, right? Yes. So, what someone went into was, like, we know that within the intelligence community, they run psyops on each other.
Yes.
Just for multiple reasons. Whether just to fuck with you, whether to see how people react, whatever. And this guy said that the whistleblower that was in Congress, he thinks they were running a psyop on him and making him believe that UFOs were real and that all this shit was going on to see what he'd do. And that what we're seeing is what happens when a whistleblower has a psyop run on him. And I'm like, I hate that makes sense. That you would just fuck with somebody within the government. Like, you, as part of the government, would fuck with somebody in the government to be like, let's see what happens if he thinks the aliens are real. And then watching him be like, look at this fucking idiot. The world is vampire.
So, this is why I believe I pay too much in taxes.
I can't afford a home. That's why I know I pay too much in taxes.
Like, okay, so...
Like, if I could afford a house and a car and, like, a nice vacation once a year or, like, you know, less nice trips.
Yeah.
And I paid a lot in taxes, I would be okay with that. Because I could afford a comfortable life.
I was going to say, this is why, I mean, we've had many conversations about this over years, and I don't want to get into debate about it, but This is why, like, I'm fairly, to simplify, a small government guy and a small less taxes guy, and it's when I hear things like that, they're like, once again, like, that's plausible, Joe. And I think, like, and that's what my tax money's spent on. I do kind of understand where people like yourself come from, where it's like, what if we took that money and did this with it?
Yeah. Because that's what I was going to say. Like, the worst part about it is, like, that's, like, whatever.
Yeah. We don't have to get into the whole disagreement.
We've had a lot going on in these first 15 minutes.
I'm just saying, like, I completely understand where people like you come from with that, and I want that to be out there. Because that's what's actually our money's being spent on.
Remember, the military budget is just a jobs program. If you hate welfare, you hate the military.
It's true.
In Blackest Night, Part 2.
Season 1, Episode 5, In Blackest Night, Part 2. Written by Stan Berkowitz. Directed by Butch Lukic. Let's watch this black man get wrongly accused.
Again. No, everybody stop. So here's what I think's funny, right? Because I listened to the last episode. Because there's oh, by the way, I'm going to put this out here because I know. At the time of recording, we just lost Richard Lewis. Rest in peace, Richard Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was tough, man.
Yeah. Like, I know you're a Curb guy, so that's why I thought of you. But, like, Richard Lewis was one of those guys that, to me, was just an omnipresent comedian when I was a kid. So, like, I've known Richard Lewis before I knew Richard Lewis. You know what I mean?
So I knew Richard Lewis through that, like, through the Curb stuff, through the Seinfeld stuff. He was a part of that crew.
Yep.
But I have gone back and watched some of the old HBO specials over the years, and, like, that dude was funny as hell.
Well, that's why I actually posted, I think you'd enjoy it. Paul Provenza did a show on Showtime, The Green Room, and there's an episode where it's Richard Lewis, Jeffrey Ross, Kumail Nanjiani, and Margaret Cho. I couldn't think of Margaret Cho's name. And it's fantastic. Because there's even a whole joke where, like, Richard Lewis goes to Kumail, he's like, "You're a Sikh, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, how can you tell I'm a Sikh?" "Well, I dated a Sikh girl." And he's like, just there's things, I just noticed. He's like, "Really?" And, like, they're doing the banter. And then Richard goes, "I've been married for 20 years. You really fucking believe that?" But it's also when Jeffrey Ross had hair. It was a long time ago. He had his full Jufro working, so, like, yeah.
So, we discussed off-air a little about Suicide Squad, and you saw, like, people being mad that was going to be Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman.
Yeah.
And everything. So, just as kind of aside for this show, they're doing the Crisis on Infinite Earths animated, which they're doing 3 of them.
And the third part's going to be the final showdown between Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Well, did you see who's going to be in part 2?
No.
Batman Beyond. And your boy's coming back to voice him.
Will Friedle?
Yeah.
American Treasure. Will Friedle.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, like, I had zero interest in these movies
until now. You're like, oh shit.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Oh, Flash. The world's fastest man. You're on a different world now, Flash. You might not be the fastest here.
Oh, this is a completely different world. This dude with the bug eyes is probably faster.
Ranjar Ko? I think so. See, but I like this too. Like, they give John something to do. Like, oh, we're going to space. Come with me, John. All right, cool. Let's go to space.
I looked him up after this, and he's actually in some Green Lantern arcs.
What?
This dude.
Yeah. I know that from Clicks. He's unclicked, and people want him in Clicks because he's an old Green Lantern villain.
Well, it's one of those things that I don't know DC nearly as well as I know Marvel, and I don't really know Marvel as well as a lot of people. But I watch some of the stuff, and I'm like, I end up looking up the characters to see if they're who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting to know he was real.
I told you not to get involved. They'll railroad you, pal. Maybe I like to be railroaded.
Are you kink shaming me for these weird heads that don't move? I mean, they kind of move.
Their eyes move, but their mouths, it's funny. But it's all, listen, it's all in service of Kirby, so I'm good with it.
Yes. Speaking of which, you saw the Fantastic Four casting.
Yeah.
And it did my heart well that the woman playing the Invisible Woman, his last name is Kirby.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And Herbie's in it.
Yeah. Fully Loaded?
No, Lindsay Lohan's not in this movie. She's in some... I saw an advertisement for some show or movie that she's in, and I'm like, okay, good for her, I guess.
Why... They just send Flash up there to say buzzwords, and it just...
Because he's got to try and stall.
Yeah.
And then they tell him, like, if you lose, by the way, you get killed too. He's like, well, shit.
Good thing I'm really fast.
This is the moment that I love with Hawkgirl. Where she's just like, where the fuck the lanterns at? And then she goes sees them like, y'all are bitches.
Yeah. Gained a lot of respect for her in this moment.
Yeah. And this was the way I said, like, oh no, you're gonna like her here.
Yeah.
And I also love that, like, it gets through to Kilowog. Kilowog's like, she's right.
Yeah.
We are a bunch of bitches. Boom! Just fuck your food.
Well, Kilowog's always been the realest of them all.
It's true. Hey, no weapons. Go outside.
You can kill each other elsewhere.
I also love that, where she's like, I'll just beat their hand. I'll just beat them with my bare hands. Alright, fuck it, I guess.
Fucking Wolfman.
So,
Wolfman Jack.
He's never been clixed. Kilowog has, of course. Fucking Tomar 2 there, whatever he has, with the fin on his head. But this motherfucker has as well. But then, like, the other ones haven't. That motherfucker never been clixed. I don't think this guy has 4 legs, though. I think he only has 3. That, I like that, too. Where Kilowog's like, just not getting up. He's like, I'm finishing my drink. And then we'll see what happens.
Because he's sitting there in that moment being like, how have you not all realized that she's right?
So I
love that he just bounces around.
Yeah. So I didn't watch when Cat Williams went off on everybody, apparently. I didn't watch any of that. Though I want to, because I think it'd probably be funny. No more. Hawkgirl's right. But I saw a clip of when Chappelle was coming back, you know, after Africa and everything. Mm-hmm. And he was saying something about how, like, he's telling the story. He goes, you know, so I went to sign up on Facebook and type my name in. Like, you can't use celebrity names. I'm like, word. So he goes, so then I go on Twitter and I try to do the same thing. And they're like, you know, you can't use celebrity names. I'm like, all right. But then he goes, I see this fake Dave Chappelle who's, like, getting follows and telling jokes or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're letting him do it, but, like, I can't do the real one? And then all of a sudden I see he starts going after, you know, Cat Williams. And I'm like, oh shit, Cat starts going back, whatever. He goes, so then, you know, a couple weeks later, had a show. And Cat was there. So, you know, I go on back and I'm like, hey Cat, you know, big fan, good to see you, whatever, you know, whatever. And I go, now Cat, I don't have a Twitter profile. And Cat Williams looks at me and goes, so what, Dave Chappelle? Neither do I. And that amused me. I like that. I also like Superman in his spacesuit.
Yeah, that's funny.
I like my Superman limited, not unlimited.
Yes. That's all I have to say about that.
Alright. We catch bad guys.
You a good guy.
Well,
me good guy.
Perhaps you should re-examine that.
You see, he's a terrorist.
Your obviously superior intellect to routinely sort out matters of life and death? Oh, yup. Kind of. Poor Kilowog. Yes, we are space police.
I feel like we should change that because they're really space militia. Because there's not really a governing body.
Yeah, there is. The Owens.
The Owens are the crazy dude in the forest that just has some money to give the militia guns.
Yes. I don't see the difference here.
The difference is they didn't pretend to have an election.
Neither did the police. I've never voted for a cop.
you need to go vote then.
I do like this general idea of, like, we built a giant hologram to make you think the planet exploded. That's a novel concept that I enjoy.
I also feel like at the end of this, if I'm Superman, or anyone in this group, just mad props out to John. That somebody was willing to go through all this trouble just to get rid of him.
Well, no. You clearly did not pay attention to the plot of this fucking episode.
I forgot because it was like 2 months ago.
This is all an attempt to incriminate the Owens.
That's right. To get rid of the Owens.
Yeah, John, as always, the black man was just an innocent bystander caught up in the machinations of evil Jews.
That took a left turn.
So, the joke there is that the original design for the Owens, which this is based on.
I think the joke there is gay 2024.
Nope. But the original design for the Owens is based on, like, the first Prime Minister of Israel.
Oh, really?
Yes, I'm not even joking. It may not be the first Prime Minister, but it was a famous Prime Minister from decades, from, the early formation. But how did your spacesuit fit over your wings?
I was going to say, I do enjoy that they made a special spacesuit just in time for Hawk Girl to put over her wings.
And then we have the fucking stormtroopers here. The Nazi stormtroopers.
Yes.
With their dildos. All with their magical dildos.
Paul Dini tried to warn us about AI. Y'all didn't listen.
So more and more is coming up about people getting upset about AI, and I really feel bad because I really want to be like, honey, they've never cared about artists. Why do you think they're going to start now? Like, that's really my feeling. Like, you're right. I get it. People have never cared about artists before. They're not going to start now.
You're correct, but I also have felt that people in the arts have lost the plot. That, like, you shit on the people underneath you for so long because they thought wrong, or you didn't like their politics, or whatever. Like, they just weren't as sophisticated as you. And now that's coming back to roost when you're like, no, we gotta stop this AI, and all the regular people are just like, fuck you. Not saying it's right. I'm just saying, like, you didn't read the room back then. And now you're paying for your sins.
I mean, regular people are gonna get fucked too. But okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong.
Like, that's what I said when it first started, when like ChatGPT first started coming out, people got like upset. My response was, we're only upset because, like, there are people who make, like, animators. They make a living. Their job is art. Yeah. Okay, and AI is a direct threat to that. Mm-hmm. If we lived in a world where you could maybe have some time not to starve, because AI comes in and automates your entire industry, people wouldn't be as upset as they are. Mm-hmm. We're upset because these people are literally looking at, oh, I'm going to be starving on the street. And, like, you can say get another job, but if AI continues to be good, it's going to automate a lot of things.
Right. Well, I've made this point to you in the past, like, when it does get to that point where it's screwing my job over, like, those artists aren't going to care. Like, they're not going to be out there making a big fuss about it. So, like,
we all need to be people to each other.
I understand. And I'm with you.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm saying it complimentary.
That's where people
I'm saying
come
it
from.
Complimentary, not argumentative.
Yeah. So
them getting shoved in a gas chamber is a weird choice.
Yeah. There's a lot of World War II stuff happening here.
Well, at least they're not bombing hospitals. It is a fucking gas chamber. I forgot. Like, that's what it was. But it's a fucking gas chamber.
The fucking Superman comes out of nowhere, re-busts the hole.
I forgot about that, which is great, by the way. Of him just being like, yo, you fix this hole? Fuck this hole.
I should have just left the Flash, because you don't need him. That's your cue, hot girl. Do hot girl stuff.
I'ma break it. So I've reached the point in Sailor Moon where, and I asked my buddy about this, and he confirmed what my fears were, where they just kind of acknowledged that she had become a sex symbol. So her newest attack is literally a stripper move. Like, she has her big fucking magical queen wand, and she spins, and then she starts doing, like, the crouch stripper spin. And I'm like, that's a stripper move. She's just doing a stripper move now.
What game was it? There was some game that came out recently, and like all Japanese entertainment, young children put in sexualized positions made awkward. But
made awkward? As opposed...
Makes it awkward?
Okay, there you go. Because I'm like, I'm pretty sure just doing that is awkward.
Yeah. And the guy I was listening to was talking about it, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty awkward. What's even more awkward is when people go on Twitter and try to defend it by saying, well, she's actually like 4,000 years old because she's a demigod. It's like, no, bro, it's still 14-year-olds.
And that's... yeah.
Like, you didn't make it less awkward. We're headed back to Owen. We'll have to find another black man to fall for our crimes.
Oh.
And then we get the Manhunter's secret origin. Joe, why do people talk on the phone on speaker?
I don't know.
I hope this is all recording, because...
That's what I was looking at. I'm like, is that getting picked up at all?
To anybody out there, we have earbuds now. You can even just hold the phone up to your ear.
You just stop talking. Like, I don't get... Like, my thing is, like, you know, that person's walking into their apartment. Okay, whatever. That's not the biggest deal. But, like, when people are doing that shit in a store, and it's like,
Rage.
just stop your conversation.
Yeah,
like,
rage. That happened to me yesterday, actually, at the gym, where somebody had to call me to vent about something.
Yeah, okay. Hold on, no, I want to finish this.
Okay.
So... the appearance of the male guardian is modeled after former Prime Minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion, who was, the primarily national founder of the State of Israel. So it was the first Prime Minister. I was right. Okay.
And I just, then that story, I realized I was more of an adult than everybody else around me when I said, give me 1 second, put my headphones down, put the phone up to my ear, walked away from the gym area to the lobby area to have the conversation. No, Superman beating up some manhunters.
Flash being like, hey, Nazis, I can outrun you.
Got your back.
Yeah. I helped you not die. We're friends now. John just does not give a fuck about these things. He is not having any ethical quandaries of like, these are artificial intelligences. They are technically sentient beings. Nope. Cut them up, bitch.
They just made it look like he destroyed a whole planet. So he's like, no, fuck these guys.
Fun fact for anyone who's only watched the animated series, John does in fact blow up an entire planet in the comics. Which I'm sure is part of why they made this choice to be like, hey, how would you feel if he did this? 'Cause he did it.
I forgot to send it to you, but as I was going through my books too, I was going through my Green Lantern stuff.
Yeah.
And it came to my John Stewart books, and one of them from New 52 was John Stewart in shackles with the words guilty on the cover, and I just come back to you being like, no, black man in chains.
It's true. It's true.
Because I'm pretty sure we were at the store together when I bought that, and...
It's just true. I don't know what to tell you.
Hawk Girl.
Her mace just cut that turret. And then made it... Yep. It's a magical thing. Fucking manhunters.
So, do you think that this is where the theory of Jewish space lasers came from, then?
Well, obviously. Clearly. God, how has no one made that connection? plebeians, fucking scum, all of you. Pearls before swine.
Listen, you got some time before this comes out. If you want to somehow find a way to monetize this idea, I'll give it to you.
I might just send that to my one friend that's Jewish. Be like, this is the real Jewish space laser, and it's just a fucking Green Lantern. Oh,
they got him.
The power is our destiny. That's some white nationalist bullshit right there. Oh yeah, this is when it got really weird. I forgot about this.
Electricity.
Did you know that's a politically correct term that fucking Nazis are trying to use? And I'm purposefully misusing Nazi. White identitarians. Like, if somebody uses that, they're a white power person. They're a fucking Klansman or a Nazi or something.
Okay. I've heard that term before. We cycle through these all the time.
I know. Oh, shit. They killed the Jews. Crackle, baby. Oh, that's what I was going to say, by the way, but I forgot. So, I think I bitched hard enough that Max fixed the subtitles on this, because I didn't have to turn them on. And when I watched the episodes last night, they were just still on. And I'm like, oh, damn.
He just absorbs all the power.
Yeah, he absorbs that Manhunter. So now that Manhunter lives in John's ring forever.
Does that give John both the power of a man and a Manhunter?
I mean, maybe. I don't know why the fireworks were unnecessary.
Fireworks are always necessary, Joe. This is America.
No, this is space. This is clearly Space Israel.
Which is...
Jesus Christ.
Israel, extension of America.
Oh, boy.
America. That is a horror show.
The one mouth was just like, yeah, like, oh, God. And then John's like, wee.
We're all best friends now, even though none of you stood up for me.
Fucking Kilowog skipped leg day, though. I will say that.
Yeah, Kilowog need to get back to the gym.
Never skip leg day.
Sure.
Look at that. That motherfucker skipped leg day.
I like Bouncy Ball Man. I don't know his real name.
I forget his name. I knew it at one point. Because I'm full of all kinds of useless knowledge.
Welcome to my life.
Want to make out?
Fucking Flash.
I'll fly us all back to Earth now, I guess. Like, I was really far away.
Oh, yeah. It's like, so, mission's over, guys. What do we do now?
Do we have any of those jump points that they have in the MCU?
Well, Hawkgirl can fly, Superman can fly, Green Lantern can fly.
Not in space!
Martian Man can fly.
Martian Man!
We left Batman at home.
Which, again, I appreciate.
Flash, what the fuck you doing? Because we're all about to go.
I do appreciate that they left Batman at home.
I do. That has been one thing, as we get into the next episode, that's nice when they switch up the team, have different people involved.
Uh-huh.
Maybe leave Flash at home for the next series.
Nah, brah. Fast man alive, brah. Fast man alive. Gotta run fast.
Fastest man alive, brah.
How you spelling brah?
That was bra with an H.
B-R-U-H is the appropriate brah.
Yeah.
Brah. Wheeze, because you're familiar with Wheeze being from this area. Wheeze, when I was growing up, always said, he was saying bruh, but he always said more like brah. So I just thought, brah. We're stupid monkeys.
Yes. Speaking of stupid monkeys, Joe, where can people find you on the internet?
JoePank.com. I may cancel that. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. It's just money I'm spending for nothing, really. JoePank.com, ClicksNexus.com. Go to patreon.com/ClicksNexus or Joe Pank. This comes out in 2 weeks, right? Because you're doing every other
3
week.
weeks.
We got another episode?
No episode today, episode next week.
Okay.
And then 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, by the time you listen to this, it was my birthday like 3 weeks ago. So give me money. Give me money. Or, you know what? I can be an e-girl. Ask for my Amazon wish list. I'll send you my Amazon wish list, and you can just buy me things. Buy me pretty things. I'll show you my feet. I don't care. Instagram, JoePank36.
For me, it's at Fortress Chris on pretty much all the social medias, so you can find me there. And chriscomicscorner.substack.com, where you can find weird stuff I do on the internet. Mostly I just talk about ROM.
And white identitarians.
I said ROM the first time, Joe. You don't need to repeat. Do you know he's a space knight?
Better than a space cop.
Technically, he's space military, so...
So he's a colonizer.
I think he's actually an anti-colonizer because the dire race would be the colonizers because they come to planets to try to take over and subjugate the population.
So they're white.
Yes, but that's besides the point,
Okay.
Joe.
They should have been dire wasps.
Also at FortressComicsNews.com, and if you want to support my shenanigans, it's patreon.com/FortressComics. To support this show in particular, like, subscribe, share, comment down below on the YouTube version, or give us a 5-star review on the podcatcher of your choice. Thank you all so much for watching, actually for listening this week, and we'll see you all here next week, next 2 weeks, next time. I haven't done this in a while.
Write in if you use Ko-fi.com, because I have an account, but I haven't really done anything with it, because I don't know who does that. But I also don't drink coffee, and I get that it's supposed to be coffee, but it's spelled Ko-fi, so I'm going to call it Ko-fi until you give me money there, then I'll call it coffee.
Kovefi.
Like, my name's Coffee, like to drink.